Kingdom Hearts is an interesting series and also one that I don't really care about anymore. I recently bought the 1.5 plus 2.5 Final Mix collection and I started knocking out all the games that I had on there. And then I went on to the movies. The movie for Days was good. It actually made me feel pretty sad. And after finishing it, I only had one more left. And like any reasonable person, I decided, why not? We might as well just finish everything. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Big mistake. For the most part, this movie's an inoffensive, kind of awful that's also excusable in what's essentially a glorified 3-hour video game cutscene. I wasn't expecting best picture quality here, but then the ending happens, and then the whole thing turns into the most prolonged and realistic simulation of watching paint dry while simultaneously being on your deathbed suffering from both cancer and diabetes at the same time. Depressingly, I'm gonna have to somewhat re-experience these very traumatic memories of the movie in order to fully convey to everyone how painfully existent it is, but for anyone who wants to know what happens before it fully goes to shit, a brief summary. The core premise of this movie is actually quite simple. After the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, Jiminy finds that his journal has had all of its entries erased, so after Kingdom Hearts 2, Mickey decides to turn it into a Unity game and sends a data version of Sora into the book to see what's going on. He revisits a bunch of worlds that we've already seen in other games, but the only one that really matters is Agrabah, because that's when Maleficent and Peach show up and reveal their motives for taking over the data world, which are nothing other than the fact that they were the villains of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. They kidnap Data Riku, who's here because he's like the guardian of the journal, or just, there's a Data Sora, so we need a Riku too. And Sora goes to Hollow Bastion to rescue him. Also, his Data Keyblade is gone too because it broke, so we're really trying to mirror the events of KH1 now, except nothing that happens in this portion of the movie is as dramatic or epic as what happened in that game. Exhibit A, Goofy and Donald defy the orders given to them by Mickey for the sake of their friend and team up with him against his arch rival. In Recoded, Goofy just jumps in to kill a bunch of the weakest Heartless in the game, and the scene where Donald shows the same kind of spirit, the characters are talking in this dark, bland, and uninspired hallway, and while what Donald says here is kind of nice, the first game handled this a lot better. It was shorter and more to the point. Exhibit B, after getting to the end of Hollow Bastion in the first game, you 1v1 Riku possessed by the ultimate darkness, and in Recoded, he is replaced with Pete. After Pete fucks off, he leaves behind a plot hole for Sora to jump into the next plot point, but instead of letting Donald come with him, he says,
"Wait, I need to do this on my own."
Oh, Sora, you're our friend, and I don't care about all the shit I have to deal with. I just want to hang out with you because I want to support you.
And then Sora just goes, fuck off, Donald, I'm gay. So Sora goes off and confronts Pete again, but this time mind-controlled Riku, which only makes me wonder at this point if they were going to do Sora versus Riku again, why not just do that and cut out the pointless shit with Pete in the sequence? Well, that was really sudden. I should probably take this time to explain how the movie incorporates the game mechanics of Recoded, because instead of just cutting out all of the parts where there would be gameplay, it instead tries to simulate the fights in these really awkward and janky movements. Anyways, after he comes back, another plot hole shows up and... Wait a minute, weren't they already here? Why are they running over here again? Did they go all the way back to that room so they could watch what was happening and then run all the way back here after they saw the fight was over? That's fucking stupid. In order to save Riku, he has to go inside and debug him, which he is all for, by the way. The Disney characters are all really supportive of him coming out, and the scene fades out only to come back to the same place and he's preparing to go inside.
Don't forget, you're not going in there alone.
Yes, he is, dipshit. And here we begin the terrible descent into insanity and tedium. There isn't a lot of time to stop all of the bugs from killing everyone, so what Sora needs to do is go through a bunch of doors that lead to the worlds that we've already visited in both the other games as well as the first 40 minutes of this movie, and all we see is a shitty fight sequence followed by a shitty conversation between Riku and Sora, and we see this over and over and over again. Shut the fuck up, Riku. Why are we even talking right now? Aren't we on a mission? Don't we have a time limit? Why is it just okay for us to sit down on the beach and get all sentimental? People are gonna die.
You know what? You gotta stop doing everything by yourself.
Sora's a filthy Twitter user, always virtue signaling and pretending to be the better person when 20 minutes ago he just passive-aggressively told Donald to go suck a dick. After seeing the exact same thing 4 times, there's a final fight between Sora and an imposter of Data Riku who's already a copy of the actual Riku, and that's it. It's all wrapped up. The Disney characters go back to the real world and everything is sunshine and rainbows. But then, it turns out that something bad happens and the Data world is gonna get deleted.
We can't let something that powerful get loose. The journal data has to be locked.
But then we're gonna lose you and Sora.
That's not the only problem. Both Maleficent and Pete are still inside the Datascape too.
You heard what Mickey said. I gotta find Pete and Maleficent.
Why? Don't you remember all the shit they've put you through? And some people might say, but that's just how Sora is. He's good boy. He's wholesome boy. He's nice. This is in character for him. Oh yeah? Well, Sora killed Maleficent in the first game, and he bragged about it in the second one. So no, I don't think this is something he'd do. That's a problem with every Kingdom Hearts game after 2. It feels like Nomura just forgot what kind of character Sora is. He was never just an insert sympathetic robot who feels compassion for every single thing on the planet. He was just a normal kid. He had a lot more personality, way better banter and chemistry with his friends. Sure, he was a bit immature when it came to certain things, but there's a difference between immaturity and pure stupidity. I mean, it's gotten so bad to the point where Sora doesn't even know how to count anymore. Are you kidding me? He doesn't know how to freaking count? What is he, retarded? By the way, I'm not using that word as an insult. I'm genuinely asking if he's actually retarded. Like, if he's actually, like, mentally disabled or something.
Silence, coward. You will do as I... What?
Oh, Pete! Maleficent!
Good riddance, honestly. This was the first boss fight of the movie, and he's back, but a lot more powerful. So powerful that he just waits for Riku to finish talking before he starts attacking. This movie actually brings up something interesting here, though. Sora's been fighting Heartless in the Datascape this whole time, but they aren't real Heartless, so they can't release hearts like normal ones can. It's kind of cool to think about what would happen instead.
But when you defeat Heartless here in the Datascape, that wouldn't set any real hearts free. Instead, I think what you released are probably the Heartless's minds.
I'm sorry, what? So Data Heartless don't have hearts, but they have minds. Nomura, what the fuck is wrong with you? And what does that even mean? What does that do? I wasn't even aware that regular Heartless had minds. They didn't even need to explain why this thing is more powerful than it was at the beginning of the movie. Who cares? This is so stupid. But trust me when I say this, this is one of the least dumb things that happens. Just keep that in mind. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the fight, so just skip forward. Oh god, no, you've got to be shitting me.
Well, I think I'll keep an eye on
You're really just letting them go, huh? Not gonna make sure they get locked up? Just gonna let them run free.
Don't think we're letting
You know, they aren't exactly Team Rocket here. They've done terrible shit, and they're not reformed or anything. The crimes they've committed have happened in the last 30 minutes. Kill them!
It's not a glitch. That's just...
Mickey, just leave. We already had a goodbye scene. Did we really need another one? That seemed like an appropriate place to end it, right? Well, apparently Nomura didn't think so, because we've still got just under an hour left. Out of nowhere, Riku comes back on screen and says, guys, here's another plot point that doesn't matter. So Data Sora goes to Castle Oblivion and he meets, obviously, Roxas and... oh god, no. We're really redoing Chain of Memories? They couldn't even bother to change the scenery. They just have pictures of the world on the wall. They already had the assets to fully bring Destiny Island to life, so what is this? An art museum? Actually, that's giving it too much credit. Gotta slap on the modern art label at least. But who knows, man? Maybe they did this because we've already been to Destiny Island, so they're freshening things up by making everything worse. Roxas explains that the whole thing is some weird acid flashback that Sora's having, so he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. I get why they didn't voice these scenes, but this is just really weird to look at. Wait a minute. Why is he still talking after they're gone? Maybe Sora really is brain dead.
Well, Sora? How was it? Did you have fun chatting and hanging with the ghosts?
Nothing about this is fun, just fuck off.
Sure, something was a little off, but I'm certain those three are still my friends.
Friends? You don't say. So then what were their names again? Tell me.
Oh, I don't even have to think. What? Why can't I remember?
I'm not really convinced this is a supernatural thing, since apparently Sora is so dumb he can't even count. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Roxas gives Sora 5 more cards to visit 5 more fucking worlds and do the exact same thing in all of them. It doesn't even feel slightly different since none of the characters are voiced, and they don't even do anything to show off their personalities. And the place that Sora talks to all of them is in the same exact white fucking room.
You seem pretty calm.
And then every time Sora finishes up his business in a world, Roxas just keeps showing up and going on about crap. Oh, hey, Sora, which came first, the chicken or the egg? 'Cause some people say it's the chicken, since the chicken is the one who lays the egg. But actually, the egg is the thing the chicken hatches from. I don't really know which one it is. And that's the problem. Your indecisiveness will cause the people around you immense hurt. God, they're trying so hard to do this mindfuck thing at the end of the movie, but it's hard to get invested in all of this when the voice actors sound like they're bored out of their fucking minds. The actors are so monotone with their voice delivery that I'm convinced they've managed to carve a hole through my soul. I'm just too scared to check and make sure. Oh yeah, by the way, for anyone who noticed that I used the word hurt instead of something like pain in that impression, just know that that's how the characters talk in this movie. They will not stop using the word hurt like that. Every fucking time, Roxas goes on and on about how people are hurting and that they're filled with hurt. And I know the word can technically be used the way it is here, but fucking change it up every once in a while. Even if it didn't sound unnatural as hell, I'm not very excited to hear the characters just say the same fucking thing every time Sora gets done with a new thing. Oh, god damn it, stop. Don't you have anything better to do? You know Sora's a fucking idiot, stop rubbing it in. It's not nice to make fun of disabled people. You know, maybe the whole atmosphere this game is trying to make here would be a lot more effective if I could actually hear what these fuckers were saying. But no, I guess Sora dropped his hearing aid before coming here.
But you believe that somehow by carrying around that kind of hurt...
At this point, maybe I should just keep a counter of how many times they say this, just to prove a point. He's finally lost it, huh? Can't blame him. Anybody would after being involved in this movie.
Well, you've lost your memories, and the only thing you found in return is hurt.
Twice in a row?
And by deciding that hurt was the key to remember...
3 times in the span of like 20 seconds? Yeah, I'm done with this counter. He said hurt that many times within close proximity of each other. I'm afraid of how high the counter will end up at. No, I'm not leaving any of this shit out. I need you to understand what this movie is. You know, while I was recording the footage for this movie, I was playing Persona 5 Strikers, an actual good game, and not that I think Recoded is a bad one or anything, it's just... I watched the movie, so I can't really say. And I got to the end of a jail before this Castle Oblivion shit even came close to ending. I'm just saying, you gotta fuck up really bad to make Sora's story and Chain of Memories look like a masterpiece in comparison to this.
Cling to the memories you've lost, and the hurt they bring.
Okay, maybe I'll summarize it a little just to save time. Sora, hurt is bad. You should let go of the hurt. I'm so philosophical. Bye. Don't worry, guys. It's almost over. We only got one more card left.
Should I use this?
Well, I've already come this far, and if you don't, I'll kill you for wasting my time, so...
It's just going to bring more hurt.
I'll give you something to hurt about if you don't hurry the fuck up.
Once I go out of this room, I'll forget all about what happened and everyone I just
Stop
met.
saying the same thing over and over again. Just fucking go. Don't you want to go home? Please, it's the last fucking card. Just use it.
Ask your heart. What are you feeling right now, Sora?
Oh my god, the cutscene should have been over 5 fucking minutes ago. Just go through the fucking door. You could have had these doubts any time, but now? You choose now? You're not the only one hurting here. Just end my suffering. Oh good, that makes me happy. I really like the fact that they're still alive and important characters. That's just great.
You've used up all the cards, I take it?
Yes, I have, and I could not be more happy about that. This conversation is basically the same thing we've seen for the entirety of this segment. Roxas just goes, oh, the hurt makes people gay, and that's why it's bad. And for once, Sora just says, you know what? Fuck this bullshit. I'm done listening to this shit. I accept the hurt. I mean pain. God damn it. And then Roxas gets all emo and farts so hard that the scenery changes for this epic boss battle that only lasts 2 seconds in this movie.
It's way past time that you learned what real hurt feels like!
I can't anymore. This is so stupid. Man, I really hate anime grunting. It sounds so bad when English dubs try to mimic this sound. In Japanese, it sounds fine for the most part, but that's because it's in Japanese. By the way, if I were writing a dub, I'd replace all anime grunting with this sound. Oh.
You said that you'd show me hurt, and you weren't wrong.
What the fuck was that?
Sure, it might have hurt while we were fighting.
Don't you mean it might have pain while you were fighting, Sora?
But I sensed a different kind of hurt from you.
Okay, everything's back to
kind of
normal
like
now.
An intense, sharp pain.
Holy shit, he used a different word than hurt. He actually used the better word.
Like, right then we shared the same hurt.
Yeah, I don't care about anything that's happening right now. I just want this movie to be over.
I give up.
Wait.
Here.
What? No. No, you're kidding me. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. There's more? There's still more. No! Oh my god, we still have 25 minutes. There's still around 30 minutes left for me to sit through.
You can rest easy.
No, he doesn't deserve that. I hope he burns in fucking hell for elongating the shit out of this terrible story.
Sora!
God, Sora should grab Mickey's ears and just tear them off of his head. They go through the door and they meet Naminé, and Sora goes, "Who are you?" And Mickey just explains who Naminé is to Data Sora. Remember, Data Sora is not the real Sora. Kind of weird that Mickey explains the whole situation about Naminé to Sora before he does that for the real one, but I don't fucking care anymore.
When I added these memories to the journal, I also
Maybe
added
this
all
could be a touching scene where Sora finally thanks Naminé for what she did for him, but instead the majority of the scene is just Naminé explaining the plot of this movie, and then she goes on to say, "Oh, you've overcome the hurt, you've learned to face the hurt, there was so much hurt in this shiny ball of memories that I have. Hurt, hurt, hurt." That's all anybody talks about nowadays. Oh god, Mickey looks high. I want some of whatever this guy's smoking.
They're waiting for Sora. He's the only one who can put an end to their hurt.
Remember in KH1 when Sora wasn't even meant to be the Keyblade wielder and he was just a normal guy? Now he's the savior that everybody needs. I really hate what they've done to his character over the course of this series.
A day will come when they must rise from their sleep. And then, the only one who can save them will be Sora.
How many times are they gonna say the same thing? This whole movie is just a rehash of other better games and itself.
That's what he felt in his.
Oh my god! It's finally over. I can finally go home. You know, this movie is so awful that the ending makes me feel unparalleled amounts of joy. It's honestly kind of beautiful. This movie is honestly actually genius because it really makes you feel hurt, which is the core message of this movie. I mean, they said it a bunch of times, so it's gotta be important, right? Thank God. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There's still more. Okay, now it's over. Now it's over.